What's going on, y'all? Gonna get started in a second. Just gonna send this link out, then we'll go ahead and get started. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? All right, let's go ahead and get started. We was looking at a few pairs, so let's go ahead and pull those pairs up I was looking at. So I like how your AED's looking. I want to see price retrace some more, but I can't see a quick scalp on your AUD. It's broken above this level and a new candlestick just popped up. So it's retesting this level now. So depending on how the retest looks, and the next candlestick might enter this soon. I can't see it coming up to here at least. 54.35, 54.40. And from where it's currently at, that's 30, 40 plus pips, which is not bad. So I can see price coming to there. And depending on if volume can continue to push up, it could come to the zone right here at a 56.30. So we keep an eye on that to see if it's going to do so, because the past couple of days have been pretty bearish. It's been struggling to make new highs, been dropping. So do got to keep that in mind, but this is a strong support and resistance level, as we can see right here. So I can see a potential scalp setup before it potentially continues to drop down. But the way it's looking now, depending on how it respects this level, if it shoots back up or not, we could see potential sells happening again, just like yesterday with the JPY pairs. They all dropped down. We could have went for sales for that as well, but decided just to stay away from them. So I'm watching them right now to see if it's going to respect this level. So far, as you can see, off both the retests, price has been respecting this level so far. So let's go on a bigger time frame to take a deeper look at this. Looks very similar to Euro AUD. Hasn't really made no new highs, but it's been respecting this level for the past few weeks. We can see the huge rejection wicks here closing above this level. Then we see on Thursday and last Friday how price hit this level, still respected and closed above it. And then even today, it's hit this level, it's respecting it so far. So I want to see if it's going to continue to do so, or if it's going to drop back down. So far, it seems to be respecting it still. So we could see possible scalp or buy back to the top of the zone. So we're just going to be watching and see what it does. So either that or it's going to continue to drop down. And depending on what those candlesticks look like, we'll either look for a sell setup or a buy setup. So far, it's looking good for a potential buy setup. I want to see price stay above this level and close above it. It is above this level of price, which is a good sign. But I want to see price break back above this level before I decide to enter. And Euro AUD looks like it's still trying to pump up. Yeah, so it looks like it's pushing still. So depending on what it looks like, we do got 10 minutes before London session starts, but it has pushed up nice so far. And I see it hitting this wall at least. So I can see it's catching at least between 15 to 40 pips, depending on how far it pushes up. So this will just be a quick scalp move, most likely. Probably won't be in this trade longer than an hour, depending on how it struggles to break these levels. But so far, it is looking good. It's been respecting this level of price, and it's pushing up as we speak. So I want to wait for a London session to start, But this is a good sign. Not just we have the breakout candle here, but we also have this candle do the retest and pushing, and then we have the next 5 minute, and it's pushing as we speak. Whoops, that's not going to 30. So we got a new 5 minute about to start. So let's see what this 5 minute looks like, and then we're going to go from there. So go keep an eye on this. It's definitely pushing though. And I think it's still pushing. So we're about to see what this new 5 minute looks like. So it's retesting this level it's above right now. So let's see if it's going to stay on top of it. If it's so, we can see price continue to push up. Looks like it's trying to do that right now. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to do it right now. What's going on, y'all? Just jumping in. Just watching this pair right now. It is pushing. It hasn't done a retest on the 15, so I kind of want to wait for that. But I don't want to miss the full move either. It's already trying to push. So just looking at it right now, debating if I want to enter it now or wait for the next candlestick. It's Euro AUD. Haven't entered yet. I'm looking at it. The move already kind of started, so I'm trying to see if it's going to retest the next 15. Haven't entered it yet. Haven't entered anything. Just looking at it right now. 45. Yeah, that thing's already pushing. Yeah, it's not already doing anything. So I'm going to see if it's going to retest. I'm going to leave that alone. So let's go ahead and look at some other pairs while it's doing this thing. It's not really the best risk to reward anyways, but that's pushing up. So your JPY is looking good too. So it could stay above this level depending on the next 15. We can see your JPY at least hit right here at like 145.95, 146 even. And from where it's currently at, that's about like 20 pips, which isn't bad. So depending on how it reacts to this level, we could see price come up to potentially 146.50. So I am looking at a potential buy setup. It has been bearish since yesterday. AK has been dropping. It dropped the zone. So I am keeping that in mind. That's why I'm waiting to see how price reacts to this level. So far, it is struggling to close above it. So I'm going to see how this candlestick ends and what the next 15 looks like. And then we'll go from there. This is the trade idea right here. I haven't entered it yet though. Let me get rid of these two because we don't need these no more. So I want to come back to that, see what it does. And I want to see this retest. And if it retests on this and respects it still, then I might go in for a buy. But that one's not the best risk to reward. So kind of just leaving that alone, even though I can't see it go in there. So I do decide to enter, it'll probably just be on stream. Now, Euro New Zealand, we used to catch a lot of buys on them, but again, looking at this pair, it looks very similar to EJ and Euro AUD. Failed to make new highs after it hit this level, and since then it's been dropping. So this is a strong support resistance level, and it has broken underneath it. So I want to see if we can stay underneath it, and if it can, then we might look for a potential sell setup for Euro New Zealand if it can stay underneath here. As we can see, it came underneath here for a little bit, still underneath the zone, and now it's doing a retest. So I want to see if price can, let's see here. Let's go to the left real quick. Let's see here. Let's zoom in. So we got like a nice wall right here. So I want to see if price can break and stay underneath this wall right here. And if it can do so, depending on how those candlesticks look like, we might look for a sell setup. So we want to see if price can come down here. Stop loss, I'm just going to put it above this level price right here. And we're going to keep an eye on this and see if we can look for a potential sell setup there. Your AEDs were tracing down, which is perfect. New 5-minute just started, which is probably why it's doing it. We got about 4 minutes until London session starts. I want to see it retest here as close as possible, but it is on top of this level of price, so it might not retest as far. But the retest is a good sign. So I might enter this, depending what the next candlestick looks like. So we can keep an eye on that. Let's see what EJ is doing. EJ's tracing down still a little. So we're just going to be watching this to see, why is this here? Let's get rid of that. So just going to keep an eye on this stuff for now. US30 and all that, still going to be looking for potential buy setups. We do have red folder news just like yesterday going on with the US30. I mean, not just US30, the USD. So we pulled that up. We'll be able to see that. We have that at 8:15. Yesterday we had it at 10 a.m. So a little bit earlier. Then we have another one at 2 p.m. Not really worried about that. I don't really enter trades at this time, but I might be still holding a trade. So I am going to keep that in mind and pay attention to the charts when that goes off as well. Depending on how it looks, might look for something. But for the most part, I don't really enter trades at this time. So going to be waiting until 8 o'clock to enter a trade unless I see something beforehand. But for the most part, I'm probably going to wait till after 8:15 to enter. Just like yesterday, I waited till after 10 a.m. to enter. So depending on what the news says, it's either going to continue to push up in this uptrend, as we see us trying to do here. It already retested the zone and shot up, missed that entry. And now it's currently on this 4-hour level of support resistance. So could look for a potential entry here once it retests. But if I don't see anything, I'm not going to force it. I will just patiently wait for the volume to pick up into the market. So I want to see if price is going to continue to push up, hit the top of the zone, depending on what the news says today, or if it's going to drop back down some more, and we're going to see another red candlestick. So going to be just patiently waiting for that, but I am going to be looking primarily for buys for the indices still. NAS is at a good entry. Not going to jump on it yet. I want to see price show me wants to do something. I'm not going to just enter just because it's at a good entry. I still need 1, volume be in the markets, and 2, for price to show me that it's trying to go up in this case, because I'm going to be primarily looking for buys. So just going to be chilling, not going to be forcing anything there. But I do like how NAS and GBPJPY are looking. SPX. Not really going to mess with this right now. I wanted to retrace or push up some more before I mess with that. So just going to let it do its thing. Obviously, depending on how the indices move and act, that might change, but for the most part, going to be chilling, waiting for price to come to the nearest zones and then going from there. Let's see here. Have this trade idea. This is a strong level on the 4 hour. We see what happened last time price hit this level, rejected harshly down. See what happened last time price hit this level again, rejected harshly down, rejected harshly down, rejected harshly down. This is the only time it didn't reject. I mean, it did reject harshly down, then it broke through it. So it is above the zone. So I am looking at potential sell setup to the downside, then possibly a buy setup up. But again, haven't entered. It's just a trade idea. I'm going to see what the next candlesticks look like before I even mess with that. Speaking of which, let's go back to Euro AUD and see what's going on real quick. All right, bet. Yeah, so it's retracing right before the next candlestick, which is usually how things go down. So it's 3 o'clock now. So let's see what these next 15-minute candlesticks look like. All right, starting green. What's your AD looking like? Starting green. So now it's on top of this level, which is a good sign. So I'm going to see the candlestick move a little bit. I'm not going to just jump into it yet. But I do like how it's looking. Let's go to GJ too and see what GJ is up to. So GJ, as you can see, has been dropping too. Again, we could have caught some sales on this yesterday, but just wasn't looking at it. So we're going to be seeing what it decides to do today. It looks like it's coming close to the daily zone and the 4 hour level of price. So depending on if it wants to push up or not, that's probably going to affect other JPY pairs. But EJ looks like it's trying to push up currently. But that could just be the Euro pairs pumping. But when we look at GJ, we can see a very similar candle formation like we see on EJ. So we got to keep that in mind. But again, not jumping into anything right now. Just looking at the charts. So this is retracing still. I'm going to see how far it's going to retrace before I decide to enter. That way I'll have the least amount of drawdown and be able to catch the most amount of pips. We caught a nice move on gold. So those that was in the live stream yesterday, you should have got in with this on us. Didn't post this into free Telegram, but I do have a free Telegram. Make sure to hit that first link in the description and join that. But on yesterday's live stream, did call this trade live, didn't enter this trade live. Beginning of the live stream, I said I could see price come up to here. Went a little bit farther than it, but it did hit this level. And I want y'all to notice as soon as it did hit this level, this golden level of price right here at 1654, look at how price reacted to it. Rejected that level at first and broke through it. Try to respect that as a support level. Went up a little bit higher and then immediately dropped down. Now this had a little bit to do with the news from yesterday as well, because the news caused the USD to drop down a little bit. Same thing with the Canadian pair, and we're in New Zealand CAD, and New Zealand CAD did the same thing when we were in there. We hit TP3, and after TP3 got hit, the news came out literally a few minutes later and caused price to drop back down to our entry. But after price dropped back down, as you can clearly see, price is pumping back up. Let me zoom in for you. Didn't even hit stop loss, so the trade is kind of still valid. It looks like it's pushing back up. But after it hit TP3, you see the huge rejection down. That was during the news. And then price just chilled at the daily zone after that. And now price is pushing back up. It's kind of looking like it's at TP2 again. So the trade is still valid. Obviously, don't jump in right now because it's not even at our entry. But we did call that yesterday as well in the free Telegram. Matter of fact, let me just pull that up. Let me go on your AUD real quick. Yeah, so that thing's still retracing, which is why you want to be patient. I mean, y'all see it every morning, y'all. You see it every morning. 3 o'clock hits, either price begins its move or retraces. Usually it retraces. Literally started retracing a minute before the next 15-minute candlestick appeared for London session. Now we see price trying to respect the support level. So depending on if it can do so, then we might look for a buy setup. But because we patiently waited instead of entering when it was pushing up, one, we're not in drawdown right now, and two, we'll be able to catch potentially more pips because we waited. So just gonna let that do its thing for now. There was a few other pairs I wanted to look at. Let me pull those up. What else was I looking at? Oh yeah, AUD New Zealand. Yeah, so the New Zealand pairs were a little bit bullish the past couple of weeks, but this week, I think starting of the end of last week, started being bearish. AUD New Zealand's been bearish. We've been calling strictly sells on this for the past couple of weeks, past couple of months. You can clearly see ever since it hit this level, it's been in a clear downtrend. If I zoom in, you can clearly see new lows being made and lower highs being made. You can see new lows being made, lower highs, etc. New low. So this is a huge drop down. Missed a couple opportunities, but it does happen. I'm not going to be on the charts 24/7. Only trade London, New York. So if I don't see a setup during those times, it is what it is. Not that pressed about things, but I do see a potential entry. So we do have this imbalance here that it could try to retrace up to. Do have to keep that in mind. So that's why we wait for confirmations. We don't just jump into trades. We do have to keep in mind there is some space here for it to possibly retrace back to this zone and then drop back down, because this is a huge amount of red candlesticks. Looks very similar to US30 on the daily. Huge amount of green candlesticks. And just like I said, the start of this week, it's probably time for some red candlesticks to show up. And sure enough, on Monday and Tuesday, we've seen the first red candlesticks that we've seen in a week. Because all last week has been green, 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 green. So do got to keep that in mind. Price could retrace. So don't want to jump in just yet. Want to wait for confirmation candlesticks. So as you can see from the orange line, price hasn't really broken past that level yet. It's trying to right now. So we can stay underneath this level and treat it as a resistance level. Then we will potentially go for a sell. Now, will it go zone to zone? That's one thing. But we definitely can catch some pips if we can stay underneath that level. It's definitely possible. Same thing with Euro New Zealand. It's been dropping the past couple of days, so we're going to look for a sell setup here as well. It is currently underneath this level of price, which is a good sign, but I want to see it push a little bit more before I enter. So we're looking at Euro New Zealand as well for a possible sell. So this thing's still retracing. So going to wait to see what it decides to do. We're just 7 minutes into London session, not about to jump into anything. So Euro JPY looks like it's still trying to drop down. So if it still decides to continue to drop down, if it breaks past this daily zone that I have here at 145.60, then we'll take a deeper look and see if we want to look for sells from there. So let's see here. Got about 2 hours for the next 4 hour. Got the imbalance filled at the 50. Hit the zone. It's retracing back up right now. Yeah, but we can see there's a strong resistance level here. So we're just going to let it do its thing for now. I'm not going to jump into anything right now. Let's see what these indices are up to. Price still chilling here. Price rejecting this level a little bit. I want to see price come up to here. I'm not going to enter yet, but I do see a potential buy setup. But it's still too early to enter it. But I am going to get the trade idea. Just post it because I like to put them down, but still too early to enter. But if it can respect that level, which it's struggling to do, we can see price potentially come up to here, minimum. So we're gonna let this do its thing. Let's see what gold's up to. Gold's pushing up some more. So gold's trying to come back to this level. So I'm gonna leave gold alone too. Not a good entry for me at the time being. So just gonna watch gold as well. So it looks like so far we're gonna have a slight repeat of yesterday. Yesterday we didn't really catch anything for the first hour, but after the first hour, opportunities started to form. Then we caught some pips, caught about 1,000 pips on the live stream yesterday before we ended it. EuroCAD dropping. So EuroCAD just did a nice retest on this candlestick. New 5-minute just started. So if EuroCAD could stay underneath this level, could possibly look for a sell setup. We've caught sells here before. And it's dropped back down here, and we can clearly see price has been very bearish the past couple days. I had a buy set up for this, didn't take this, instead took the New Zealand CAD one. But you can see as soon as it hit the zone, immediately dropped back down. Did a nice retest on this zone and drop back down again. So going to see if we can potentially catch a sell setup. Again, it's just a trade idea. Haven't entered anything yet. GJ is still dropping. So no surprise, Euro JPY is dropping. Let's see if Euro AED is still dropping. Yeah, it is. Let's go to Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand not dropping as much. Let's go to AED New Zealand. You see this line right here, price hit it, pushing back up. So I'm just gonna leave it alone, let it do its thing for now. Let's see here. New Zealand JPY. This New Zealand JPY is at the strong resistance level. You clearly see every time price hit here, harsh rejection down, harsh rejection down, harsh rejection down, harsh rejection down, harsh rejection down. So we could potentially see another harsh rejection down, especially because the other JPY pairs are bearish at the time being. Okay, they are pushing down. So let's just take a closer look at it. It looks like it already started to do so earlier during the day or last night. Hit the middle of the zone, then retrace back up. And it looks like it's about to try to reattempt to do so. So let's take a closer look at New Zealand JPY. So we got this wall of price that is already underneath, which is a good sign. And then we have this rejection wick right here that looks like it's going to try to pass. So depending on what GJ is doing and what I see the other JPY pairs doing, could have a nice sell set up here. Stop loss, just going to put it above this level here. I could see price come to here minimum, which is the middle of the zone. My memories know what the middle of the zone means. But if it comes to here, that's about 40, 35 pips, which isn't bad. And if it goes zone to zone, that is about 70 pips. So just going to let price do its thing for now. Still early. Okay, oil did drop a little, rejected that level and then pushed back up, which is a good sign. It is rejecting back up though. Can you take a look at EuroCAD? Yeah, I just looked at EuroCAD, but I'll pull it up again in a second. So I hit the same level here. So we see price is really struggling to break past this level here. We can see price right here. We can see its rejection wicks here. Then we literally see price for about an hour, because it's the 15-minute time frame, for about an hour. Let me move this down a little bit. You can see price hasn't broken this low. It's hit here, rejected, stayed above here, retested, hit it again, broke past it this time, but rejected back up. So again, we can see price come down here, but still waiting because we are not even the first 15-minute candlestick into line extension. Not going to jump in anything too early. Going to just be patient. Trade 30 is still playing around at this level of price right here. Yeah, so I want to pull up EuroCAD in a second for you. Your AD is right back at the entry, which is perfect. Your JPY is still dropping. Euro New Zealand. We tested the zone, then immediately dropped back down. So we got 1 minute till the next 15-minute candlestick pops up. Going to see what that looks like. So for EuroCAD, pulling it back up for you. Looking at a potential sell setup, mainly because look at the daily time frame. Prices not made any new highs, really. Hasn't made any new highs the past couple of days. Ever since it hit this level, it's just been dropping. Hasn't really pushed up, broken past that level. Just been dropping. Retested this imbalance and continue to drop down. And we see prices currently underneath the zone. So if it can break past this orange line I have marked up, depending on what those candlesticks look like, could look for a potential sell to the downside. But haven't jumped anything yet. Still waiting for multiple confirmation candlesticks before I enter any trade. Just had these trade ideas up, so I know when I go on these charts what I'm looking for exactly. Same thing with JPY. If it can come back above this level here, 145.70, could potentially look for a buy setup. But the JPY pairs are all dropping down currently, especially GJ. We can see on the 15-minute time frame how prices is consistently dropping and breaking these levels. So it's a little too late for me to enter GJ. So just watching it, just like the other pairs, just to see what they're doing. So your AUD at the start of this 15 is making this move, which I like. So that's a good sign. So since we just did that, I want to see if we can break these levels. So yeah, I did enter this. I want to see if we can catch some pips on this. So I did just enter this. If y'all don't see what I see, you don't have to enter, but I am looking at potential buys. I want to see price at least hit this level here. And if it can break past this level, then I can see price coming back to the daily zone. So I'm going to see if price can do so. I am already slightly blue. I just entered this. I'm actually going to post this in the free Telegram because I do see potential in this setup. So make sure to hit that first link in the description, join the free Telegram. Make sure to read the disclaimer because I post a disclaimer every day, but people still don't read it. Please read the disclaimer because I have people ask me questions, and a lot of times the question they're asking is in the disclaimer. So please read the stuff I post. Everything I put in any of the channels, I put for a reason. I'm never just going to put nonsense in any of the channels. So we're going to see if we can break this level. So I put that in the free Telegram. We're going to see if we can do it. I'm going to let it do its thing for now. That's the only trade I'm in though right now. I'm just in Euro AUD. I'm going to see if we can do it. Obviously, I'm not risking 30% of my account on this trade. I always recommend at least risking 1 to 5%, depending on your account size, funded accounts, all that good stuff. But this is how we did yesterday while we let this trade do its thing. And we called these first two trades live on yesterday's live stream, so make sure to check that out. NAS100 in trade, it was 5,500 pips, but we caught 1,000 pips on live. Gold in trade was 1,000 pips. Original target point was 800 pips, but it broke past that, as you can clearly see. And I closed that about like right here, but it hit past 1,000 plus pips, which wasn't a bad move. And And then I think we took one more. Then we took New Zealand CAD. TP3 got hit 15 pips. That's this move right here. And it looks like it's trying to, well, it was trying to, at least when we're last looking at it, push back up. So it's kind of floating around at TP2. Well, it was. Now it's tracing back down. But it's above the zone still where we entered at. That's the only trades we took. I only took 3 trades yesterday, which still isn't bad because all 3 trades went our way, which is what's important. So it's hit that level, it's struggling to hit that level. But since the fact that it rejected like this and it decided to push back up, I do see it potentially doing so. So we're just going to let price do its thing and see if it can do it. It's only going to do 2 things. You're either going to hit SL or TP. So you're just going to let that do its thing. So let's go back to oil and see what oil's up to. Once this thing loads. Okay, so oil's dropping back down. So I do like how oil's looking. Can you take a look at EuroCAD? I agree with the possible sell on EuroCAD. You see a diagonal line on the daily chart starting at the point 28,774 and the other point at about 34,560. The new candlestick is forming on the downside. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if you're talking about like trend lines when you said diagonal lines, but I don't really use trend lines. But I do agree with you. It does look like it's dropping down. And then plus you can just clearly see by the candlestick formations that even if you're not even on the daily, if you just zoom out, you can just see price harshly dropped, retraced up, harshly dropped, retraced up, dropping. So even looking at this, you can just see price dropping, especially when you look at the daily zones, the blue lines. See, as soon as price hit it, drop down, retested, drop down, retested this level, dropped, retested again, dropped. Now it's broken to another daily zone, retested this level, looking like it's trying to drop again. So definitely agree with you. Now oil's finally broken through this level. So I do like how this is looking. So I might get this trade idea ready too. Just because I haven't jumped in this yet, but I do like how it looks. So oil's a little bit off from my broker. So let me pull up oil because I gotta adjust like the entries and TPs and stuff. 84, 88.45. So it's at 89.11. Minus 88.44. So this is 67 pips off. So this thing is 66 pips off today. Sometimes it's 20 pips, sometimes it's 40, but today is 60. How many pips? 67 pips off from my broker. 9013 minus 67. All right, so now I'm going to get the TPs ready. Again, haven't entered this yet. It looks like your AD is retraced a little bit. Just a little bit, struggling to break that level, which it's not a surprise. We see price struggle to break these levels all the time. Price is always going to struggle to break these levels. That's why you want to try to trade with the direction price is most likely going to go. And when there's the most volume in the market, aka London and especially New York session. So we're going to let price do its thing and see if it can break through this level like it's done this time and this time. But instead of just seeing a wick, I want to see price close above it. So we're going to see if price can do so. GBPJPY just broke underneath the zone. So the way it's looking, we might look for a potential sell setup for GBPJPY today if it continues to do so. Because we did miss the sell setup for JPY pairs yesterday. So I am going to pay attention and try not to miss them today. So let me just look at these real quick. So these have broken through. So this is on the move as well. So I'm going to look back at this in a second. Let me go back to oil real quick. Looks like oil's already starting to do its move. Got a new 5-minute about to start. So if possible, I'm gonna wait for the next 15-minute candlestick. But we do got a new 5-minute about to start in about 40 seconds. So while that's doing this thing, let me try to calculate these TPs and things. 88, 89 minus 67. Let's see here. So new 5-minute just started. Can't see a retracement happen. He's rejecting that level. Not concerned about that right now. Gonna let that do its thing. This is retesting that level. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on these. I'm not gonna jump in to these yet. Eurocast still chilling at this level right here. Let's see what the indices are up to. Okay, looks like GBPJPY is currently retesting this level. Still want to see it stay above here. Because see last time price hit here, but rejected and closed underneath it. So I'm gonna let it do its thing still. Yeah, oil looks like it's trying to start its move already. Yeah, that thing is dropping. So go ahead and do this. Yeah, I think it's already dropping. Yeah, so I can see price, depending on how it reacts to this level here, because we do have a strong support resistance level here. I can't see price drop down to at least the orange line here. And it looks like it's already doing it because when we were first looking at it, it was at like 89.11. So it's already dropped down about like 10-ish pips. But as you can see, it's rejecting that level a little bit. And we got 2 minutes till the next 15-minute candlestick. So I want to see what that candlestick looks like. Then we will go from there. But your AED is retesting this level. It's struggling to break that level. Still holding this trade, of course. I'm going to see if it can do so. So I'm going to let that do its thing. Real cat's finally starting to break through it. Going to see what the next 15-minute candlestick looks like. Let's see what New Zealand JPY is up to. Yeah, so I like how New Zealand JPY is looking too. Yeah, so oil's retracing back up, but the retest. Do like how it's looking though. Yeah, that thing dropping. Where's that? Wasn't the greatest risk reward. So we got 10 seconds on the next 15. So I'm gonna see what the next 15 looks like. The 15 starting red. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a sell on this. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a sell on this. This is just gonna be a scalp setup. So again, the source I'm using for this is Black Bull. Like I said, this broker is this source is a little bit off from my my broker that I use. It's a little bit off. So I had to adjust the TPs. So the TPs are adjusted to my broker. But even look at the 15, we got a nice drop here. Could have entered on this drop, but we missed the entry by a little bit, which is why I wanted to see if it was going to continue to drop. But as you can see, it is continuing to drop. So I did enter this. Now we'll hit every TP, I'm not sure, but I do see it at least dropping to right here. I do see that, especially we can break through this level here. Struggling to do so a little bit. I'm talking about this level right here, where we see this harsh rejection down. Like I always say, strong resistance can become a strong support. Clearly see how's a support level here. Then when it broke under, retested, turned to resistance level. So I want to see if it can break through that. And so we're gonna let that do its thing. Your AD struggling a little bit as well. Let's go back on the 15 so we can take a closer look at it. So new 15 just started, still above right where our entry's at. Not tripping about that. So we're going to see if it can break through this level. Candle is starting green, but it's just a small little candlestick right now. So we're going to see if it can do what it got to do. Let's look back at this. So I did break underneath here. Now it's retesting that level of price. So I'm really just going to let this do its thing until it's showing me what it wants to do. Do have a nice setup for NJ if the other JPY pairs want to continue to drop down, which it looks like that's what they're doing, but it is a green candle right now. Possible retest. We see price retesting this level right here. But do you see price retesting that level? Then when we look to the left, that level I just put, we can clearly see there's a strong resistance level here. So price broke underneath it and is retesting it. So we're going to see if we can respect this as a resistance level right there. But I'm just going to remove that because don't really need that on my chart right now. Yeah, but Euro AUD is struggling a little bit, but it's the beginning of the London session. We're just 30 minutes in, so not a surprise there. The enter oil, it's reacting off this level like I suspected, but I do see it breaking through that level. So we're going to let it do its thing for now. So I might do a little retest of this level before it drops. I can't see that happening, but I do see for the short term it dropping down to that level. So I want to see, in the perfect world, I want to see price drop back down to here, then possibly later on look for a buy setup. And by that time, the full move can get completed, because I do want to see price come up to here, because on the bigger time frames, it looks like price can potentially do so. So I want to see if price can break back down here, and then we can re-enter for a potential buy setup. But that's the only two trades I'm in right now. I'm gonna let those do its thing. We are up for the week, so I'm not really trying to jump into a bunch of stuff, especially if I don't see the setups. But I do see potential in those setups, so I am letting those do its thing. Euro CAD still chilling at this level, so just going to watch that for now. Euro New Zealand did break underneath. It is retesting this level, so we're going to keep an eye on these. Same thing with AUD New Zealand. It's broken underneath this level. It's retesting this level. See the rejection wicks. But I do like how these are looking. Yeah, so I'm going to keep an eye on these. Do like how these looking. So I might get these trade ideas set up. Your AD is pushing back up. So let's see. It's about to do a round 4. Let's see if we can hit TP1 on this candlestick. See what oil's doing. Oil's still retesting. Honestly, I do see it retesting here before the drop. So we could have entered that a little bit. I mean, I know we entered it late. We could have potentially waited for a slight retracement there. But it is what it is. Trade 30s pushing up. I want to see it break and close above this level. If it can do so, we can catch a quick scalp potentially on J 30. NAS is still above. I mean, NAS is above this level of price right here, which is a good thing. You see all these rejection wicks, so it's a good signs on this price. So yeah, so I do see some potential scalp setups. Let me see what US30 is looking like. Ooh, US30s retraced down too. Let me zoom in and delete some of these lines that we don't need. So don't need this line. Don't need this one no more. Don't need this one no more. So it's right now hovering above one of the 4-hour zones, which is a good sign. Probably won't trade US30, but I'm still gonna pay attention to US30 because, as you can see, it looks just like all the other indices, but these indices are at better levels for some trades than US30 is. But I'm still going to use US30 as a reference before I make any decisions. So I do see potential scalp setup for these pairs here if they can stay above this level. So probably gonna wait for the next 15-minute candlestick, but I do see some potential scalps right here for both J30 and NAS if price can still stay above those levels. Yeah, oil did a retesting. It looks like it's going to retest this level like I assumed. Not tripping about that. Going to see the main thing I want to see it do is respect that level. If it can respect that level, then it can just do a healthy retest, which is normal, which price does on every chart. So your AUD tried to hit that level again. It's really struggling to break past this wall, which is why the TP is a little bit farther than this wall, because the price can break this level and stay above it, then price has the potential of continuing to push up, which is why I want to see price break this level. It's really struggling to break this level here, as well as this level of price right here, as we can see by these wicks. But if it can do so, then we can catch a lot more pips. So we're going to just hit this level here, so y'all can visually see that even when we look to the left, we can see how this is a strong support level. See how price is rejecting this level here, then treating it as a support level here, resistance level here. So again, like I always say, price always repeats itself. I saw this, I forgot what I was looking at. I was in this live stream, and this dude in the comments was talking about price never repeats itself, which is funny that we're talking about that, because that kind of brings me to the video I dropped last night. Did just drop a video last night. Somebody drop that in the comments right now. Make sure to check that video out. It's about why back testing is so important. It's not a long video. Like most of my videos are not that long. I believe it's like maybe like 5 minutes long. Everybody's got 5 minutes in their day. So let me go ahead and drop this in there. It's literally a 5-minute video. Let me post this in here. It's titled why backtesting is so important. Actually, a recording for one of my one-on-one sessions, but what we were talking about at that time, obviously I didn't drop the whole one-on-one session, it's just a clip from it. But this subject we were talking about is very important, and I thought, it could help out a lot of people. Me and the members talk about it as well. But let me just go ahead and drop that. Do recommend people watching that, because again, price literally repeats itself all the time, which is why I trade off these zones. Now, obviously, no strategy is 100% accurate, but when you trade off these levels and you follow a set of rules consistently, it'll definitely help your success rate of trades going your way. So speaking of that, let's go back to these indices real quick. So still respecting these levels. US30 still struggling to break that level. Oil retesting. Not too concerned about that. I'm going to let it do its thing for now. Your AUD still trying. So I might struggle for a little bit. It's either going to reject this level harshly or it's going to break through it. So we're just waiting to see what it's going to decide to do. So only in 2 trades right now. Everything else, I'm just watching to see what it decides to do. But for the most part, price is just chilling right now. Let's see what AD New Zealand is up to. Yeah, so price is just chilling right now. So I'm just going to let price do its thing. I'm not going to force anything else. These probably, as of now, these probably the only 2 trades I'm into right now. Obviously, I'm still going to be looking at the charts throughout London session, of course, New York session. But for now, these are the only things I'm going to be in, because everything else hasn't really met my requirements yet, or it's just not an ideal entry for me personally. So I'm just letting it do its thing. And I'm scanning the charts real quick just to see if I'm missing anything. But those are the main charts I'm looking at for right now. JPY pairs, AUD New Zealand, Euro New Zealand. Going to be paying attention to the indices. That's about it. Yeah, Euro is definitely trying. So I'm going to see if we can break that level. Euro JPY is still chilling at the daily zone. So just going to be watching that. Gold, staying out of gold. Staying out of gold for now. Just going to be watching it. Don't know when I'm going to enter it, but I'm gonna leave it alone. Oil came back to that level, so we're just gonna let that marinate. Then we're just gonna watch the indices. So depending on what they do, could go for a potential scalp, or if it's playing around too much, or it's playing around and it's getting real close to the news, I'm just gonna wait till after 8:15 to mess with these. But I do want to see, of course, another buy setup, because again, when you go on to the bigger time frames, you clearly see everything is in the uptrend. So let me zoom out for you. But yeah, you can clearly see everything's in the uptrend right here. You can also see this is a strong support resistance level right here. See how price rejected this level here, rejected this level here, rejected the level here, rejected the level, and you currently see price struggling to close above this level. So just keep patiently waiting and letting price do its thing. New 15 just started. This thing's starting off red. Going to see if it's going to drop back down. Let's see what your AD is up to. Well, not. Let's look at EuroCAD too, because why not? Okay. Yep, EuroCAD still hasn't broken that level. Still just going to watch that. Not going to enter until it breaks that level. Your AD struggling to break that level. Let's go back to Euro New Zealand. See what this candlestick's looking like. Okay. So AD New Zealand is looking like. This AD New Zealand is really struggling to break that level. So let's go to the left to try to figure out what it's struggling with. Let's just do a little scrolling. Okay, is my trading view is obviously bugging because it's not showing anything after that right now. There we go. So let me see who's going to fix itself. I'm kind of trying to look at it on a smaller time frame. I'm not trying to look at it on the 4 hour at this very moment. So let's try that again. No, my trading view is just bugging. All right, so let's just go on the 4 hour. All right, bam. So let's zoom in and see why price is struggling to break this level. Well, one off rip, we can see all these rejection wicks. So that literally shows that price, when it hit these levels, it hit a level of price that made it push back up. Hence why I call them rejection wicks. And that's currently where price is currently at. You can see the red dotted line here. If I move this out the way, you can see the red dotted line there. And that's why price is struggling to break these levels, because we can clearly see in the past, price struggled to break these levels when it was trying to break down. And we see here, again, this is the 4 hour time frame, but you can see here all these rejection wicks, rejection, and then eventually price rejected that level and pushed back up, retested the daily zone, then eventually broke through those levels. And like I said earlier, there is a small imbalance on the daily, I believe, that price could try to retrace up to before it makes the move, because it has been dropping nicely the past couple of days. Missed a good trade setup here. But yeah, so it could come up to here, refill this imbalance, come to the daily zone, then drop down again. Could potentially see that. That's why I'm waiting to see if price can break past this level here and stay underneath it, because if price can do so, then we can, what was it right here? I don't remember where it was at. Let's just put it here for now. But it's struggling to do so currently. Let's go pull up oil. Yes, oil's retracing up. And let's see what your AD is up to. Still respecting this low, which is a good sign. So we're going to see if we can break it. It's definitely trying to, but it's also struggling to do so. So we're going to let these do its thing for now. Everything else I'm just going to be observing to see what it's trying to do. EJ is still playing at this daily zone right here. GBPJPY is still at, well, let's go in a smaller time frame before I start talking. Let's pull this up. Okay, GBPJPY is broken above it. Got a new 5-minute about to start, so now I want to see if it can close above it. So if we can close above, we could look for a potential scalp setup. So I'm gonna keep an eye on these, but other than that, nothing else is piquing my interest. So I'm just gonna be paying attention to those two New Zealand pairs, Euro New Zealand, AUD New Zealand, and I'm paying attention to the JPY pairs to see what they want to do. Want to look for buy setups, but if it continues to drop down, most likely gonna look for sell setups for the JPY pairs. Look and let them do their thing, because right now they're currently just ranging, not really doing much. Same thing with your AUD. Probably entered this a little too early because it's not really volume pumping like I thought. But we did see price when we first jumped on the stream really trying to push and break that level. So I want to see if it can do so. And we can see price is still respecting this level strongly. Every time it's rejected this level, it's made sure to stay above this level here where we entered, which is a good sign. And we see price just hit it and it's rejecting it right now. So when volume picks up, we're going to see if price can break those levels. So GBP30 just broke back above here. It's actually above this level for the first time, which is a good sign. So I'm going to wait for a new 5-minute just started. So I want to wait for the next 15. And depending on what those look like, could look for potential scalp setups for NAS and GBP30. Haven't entered them yet though. Going to just wait for the next 15. But I do like how it's looking. Yeah, these are already pushing up. Yeah, so we're going to see what the next candlesticks look like. So I am going to get these trade ideas ready. Haven't entered them yet though. Going to wait for the next 15-minute candlestick to see what that looks like. Oil's pushing up. This is struggling. GJ is dropping some more. So this is pushing up, but GJ is dropping. Let's see what the New Zealand pairs are up to. Okay, so now it looks like it's trying to move. Okay. So now it looks like it's trying to move. So I'm paying attention to these still. Going to wait for the next 15-minute candlestick for these probably still too. But I do like how those are looking. It's definitely a good sign that it's moving now. But again, I'm not going to get excited because that's what happened the past two candlesticks, and they surely rejected back up after hitting that level. So still going to watch it to see what it's trying to do. But I do like how it's looking. Let me pull this up. Yeah, I do like how these are looking. All right, so I'm gonna get these trade ideas ready. Still gonna wait for the next 15-minute candlestick. So that's what I'm looking at, just above this level of price. So about 09, say 0960. Let's just go with 0960. So the stop loss is going to be about 40 pips stop loss, which isn't too bad. So I mainly want to see one that this doesn't end like a wick like that. If it ends like a full candlestick like that, that is a good sign. But we got about 1 minute until the next 5 minute pops up. So let me do this. This source is bugging when it comes to 17923. So let's do this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Whoops, my bad. Give me 1 second, y'all. This is definitely a good sign. Let me zoom back in. I like how this is looking. Let me go back to EuroCAD. Yeah, I like how these are looking. Your AD still trying. Oil's chilling right there. So I'm gonna see if it's gonna drop back down. Put this up. Yeah, so those are just ranging. So we're gonna keep an eye on these right here. So we got 3 minutes to the next 15. But it finally broke through this wick. It's currently underneath it. But I still want to see how the 15-minute candlestick ends. So it's still going to wait for that. RAD still respecting that level. Oil is retraced up. Let's see what GBPJPY is up to. So GBPJPY broke above it on the 5 minute. And it's retesting on the 5 minute. So I'm going to see if it can stay above it before this candle closes. And if it can do so, we can see price potentially come up to, I mean, it depends how it reacts to this level, but we can see it potentially come up to 13,400 to 13,420-ish, which isn't a bad amount of pips. And then for NAS, depending on what NAS looks like, so it is currently above this level price right here. No, it hit that level price, didn't close above it. But depending on what that looks like, we could see NAS potentially hit 11,320, 11,340 to at least 11,400, 11,420. So not too bad, but it still depends on what these next candlesticks will look like. So got about a minute left until the next 15 pops up. So we're going to see what that looks like. While we still scan these charts, Euro JPY is pushing back up. Euro AD still struggling. Euro New Zealand's broken. It's right by the wick now. So I want to see this close as a full body candlestick. And then see what the next candlestick looks like when a 15-minute chart pulls up. EuroCAD still struggling to break through that level. So still going to let that do its thing. Let's see what New Zealand JPY. That's pushing up as well. AD New Zealand. It's retesting this level. So it went farther than that level, but still struggling to break through those levels of traffic. So we see it retesting right here. But as long as it can stay underneath this level of price, we can see price continue to push down. So we got a new 15 and it's dropping. So I do like how this is looking. So I want to see what it decides to do. New Zealand's pushing now. That's a full green candlestick. Okay, the euro's pumping. So we're going to see if Euro AD can push through that level. The GBPJPY is pumping as well. Yeah, I think it's definitely struggling. Definitely struggling. And this just rejected that level. Yeah, so price really ranging right now. NAS looking nice still though. Okay, it's pushing back up. Yeah, so it's respecting that level. NAS pumping. This thing is tempting me to enter. Look at some different time frames. It's definitely respecting this level. See a nice rejection wick. 2 rejection wicks closing above this level. Yes, I like how these are looking. So I'm just going to pay attention to these pairs right here. Look at this. So the euro is dropping right now. Euro New Zealand is dropping pretty hard. So I'm gonna get the trade idea ready for that one too. So I like how Euro New Zealand, AD New Zealand are looking. So I'm gonna get the trade ideas ready for this. Euro New Zealand's already starting its move. Let me see right here. So that thing started its move quickly. All right, bet. So I'm gonna get these trade ideas written down and set up. But for Euro New Zealand, I see stop loss. I have my stop loss at 69. We can say 69.35, and I see price coming to at least 67.90, if not the farthest, 67.15, 67.20 ish. So I do see price heading to that. And the AED New Zealand, my stop loss I'm looking at 09, we can say 0960. And I'm going to put the TPs and stuff in for both of these. Your AD is struggling. Oil looks like it's about to try to come back down. Sure, 30 and NAS, I'm just watching, waiting if I want to enter these. May or may not, but if I do, I will post these in the Telegram. So make sure to hit that first link. So I'm about to get these trade ideas written down and ready for these two pairs. And then we're going to go from there. EuroCAD still struggling to break that level. JPY pairs look like they are going to try to drop down for the day, at least for right now. So I might look for sell setups for those. But other than that, gold I'm staying away from right now at this level of price. Don't really want to do anything with it at the time being. So I'm only in two trades right now. Debating on entering AD New Zealand and Euro New Zealand. So I'm about to get those trade ideas written up. But I do like how they're looking. They did break through those levels that I wanted to see them break through. And they are currently attempting to drop. They did hit a level and rejecting up a little bit. But that is normal. So I'm about to take a deeper look at these and get the TPs and stuff written down. And that's going to be it from there. And members, like I said in the channel, we are going to have a live stream for New York session. It's going to be at 7:30. Be on the lookout for that. I'll send a link when I'm ready to jump into that. And I'm going to see you on tomorrow's live stream.